Hello, I'm Davy. I'm awesome. And welcome to Davy's Awesome Wrestling, where I review wrestling-related things all from the perspective of a fan, not an insider. A couple of weeks ago, I'm finally getting to the review of WWE King and Queen of the Ring, live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And now that I've introduced it, I'm going to stop the accent. The opening match was for the Women's World Championship, with Becky Lynch defending her championship against Liv Morgan. It was pretty good. Becky Lynch was actually looking like she was going to retain, which is actually what I predicted. I figured they were going to drag this out. But Dominic Mysterio came down to ensure that Becky Lynch retained because he's angry at Liv Morgan for injuring his mommy. I gotta say this, as somebody who's married and been in relationships, the last thing I want to call my significant other is mommy. But this backfired. Dominic Mysterio slid a chair into the ring for Becky Lynch. She's a babyface, so of course she didn't want to use it. Liv Morgan had no problem doing that, as she DDT'd her onto the chair, then set her up for an oblivion, got the pin and the win, and Liv Morgan is the new Women's World Champion. Like I said, this was a good match. Nothing wrong with it, and I'm actually happy that Liv Morgan is the champion, because honestly, as far as championship runs, her last one wasn't great, and this one with her being a heel character might be really good, so I'm happy. 3 out of 5. Yeah! Then for the Intercontinental Championship, triple threat of Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed versus Sami Zayn. This was a really good match. Bronson Reed, of course, using his power multiple times against both these competitors, but Chad Gable showing that, yeah, even though this guy's powerful, he's got the technical skill. For example, putting Sami Zayn in an ankle lock and then immediately going and putting Bronson Reed in an ankle lock. But it came down to, on the outside, Chad Gable was trying to get Otis to interfere for him, which would have been perfectly legal in a triple threat. And after much debating about this, Otis finally went for the clothesline, but missed and hit Chad Gable, allowing Sami Zayn to run inside the ring, get the haluva kick on Bronson Reed, the pin, and he retains his Intercontinental Championship. Honestly, happy with it because I feel that's the way to go. Bronson Reed being thrown in the mix here, I really don't understand. I get he wants the Intercontinental title, I get he's powerful, but the real rivalry is obviously between Chad Gable and Sami Zayn. If he's going to drop it, it needs to be a Chad Gable one-on-one, even if it is a screw job. Either way, this match, 4 out of 5. Yeah! Then the Queen of the Ring Finals, which I'm glad they're calling Queen of the Ring instead of the Queen's Crown. Like, Queen of the Ring. The finals came down to, from SmackDown, Nia Jax. From Raw, Lyra Valkyria. This match was meh. Honestly, I think Lyra did all she could to bring out a good match out of Nia Jax, but Nia Jax is just really somebody I don't understand why they brought back. I don't understand the appeal. She's a powerhouse, sure, but there's plenty of female powerhouses that can do a lot more than Nia Jax. I really just feel she's extremely overrated as a wrestler. I just really feel she's extremely one-dimensional and overrated. And it went until Lyra was attempting to do a sunset flip powerbomb, but got caught in the Annihilator, which used to be called a bonsai drop, whatever. And because they're pushing Nia Jax right now as their top women's heel, she got the win, and she is the Queen of the Ring. Not really the way I wanted it to go, especially after it was announced, finally, that King and Queen of the Ring guarantees a shot at the championship at SummerSlam, which is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I really would have loved to have seen a rivalry build up between Liv Morgan and Lyra Valkyria. I think that could have been a great match. But instead, it's probably going to be Bayley and Nia Jax, which we've already seen, and it wasn't that great. Honestly, this match, if it went the other way with Lyra Valkyria winning, maybe it would have gotten a little bit higher. But it wasn't that interesting, so I would really only give this one a 2 out of 5. Yeah. Then we get into the King of the Ring finals. From Raw, Gunther. From SmackDown, Randy Orton. This match was freaking awesome. But the thing about this, it wasn't flashy. It was a straight-up wrestling match. Randy Orton obviously is a great wrestler. Gunther is a great wrestler. But they usually work with different types. So this was really interesting. Were they going to be able to pull a great match out of each other? Oh, yeah. This match was so good. The kind of match that made you not want to look away because you could miss something. Gunther was working Randy Orton's knee, which is a little bandaged up, and his back, which we know was injured. It was why he was out for over a year. And he was working Randy Orton's back and knee so much to the point that first time Randy Orton was able to get an RKO, he was not able to capitalize and get a pin. The kind of false finish I miss. Like, we get these false finishes all the time of they got the finisher and yet somehow they kicked out. I miss the ones back in the day they used to do all the time where the guy gets his finisher, but he's just too exhausted to make the cover, and by the time he does, the guy's had time to recover. Later, Randy Orton got a second RKO, but this time his knee was so messed up that he couldn't plant it, making it to where Gunther can not only get out, but get a roll-up and get the pin. Ended in controversial fashion as one of Randy Orton's shoulders clearly wasn't on the mat. But the ref counted to 3, match was over. Gunther is the king of the ring and will challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Which again, awesome. And honestly, I really hope that he wins the championship because in my opinion, Gunther is probably the best heel they got right now. I would have been fine with either way this ended. Gunther going after the world title or Randy Orton going after another championship just simply because I feel like the feud between Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes is coming. I'll get more into that later, but for right now, this was easily the match of the night and easily got a 5 out of 5. And then the main event, let's call it that, for the Undisputed Championship, United States Champion Logan Paul challenges Cody Rhodes. Could have been great if they had gotten somebody else to be in there against Cody Rhodes. Or at least if they had done what they had first made us believe was going to be happening, and it would have been title for title. Because at that point, I was excited just simply because I knew there was no way Cody Rhodes was going to lose, and finally we'd have this part-time douchebag stop being the champion. But of course, they had to swerve us and go, oh no, this is not title for title, it's just the Undisputed title. We want to keep Logan Paul with it, so he'll keep supplying us with his terrible drinks. And like we expected, Logan Paul promised he wasn't going to use brass knuckles, so we knew he was going to use brass knuckles. And it was a little funny that Michael Cole got so mad about it and they got into it. There was impressive things like Cody doing a Cody cutter off the barricade and onto the announce table. And of course, because Logan Paul had to try and impress us by doing something that he already did, he puts Cody on the table, climbs up to the top rope, sips some Prime and spits it out, which shows that even he doesn't want to drink that crap, and does a frog splash onto Cody Rhodes to the table. But even with all of Logan Paul's cheating and all of the commentators telling us how great Logan Paul is over and over again, like they always do, Cody Rhodes was able to get a triple crossroads, get the pin, and retain his championship. Which, like I said, I didn't think there was any way they were going to give the title to Logan Paul. And I hope they never give that one to him. But ultimately, I've talked about it before. I don't like Logan Paul as a wrestler or as a person. It's annoying watching his matches simply because the frickin' commentators will not stop trying to tell us that he is wonderful. You know, that takes away from the match when the commentary is that bad. Like, commentators, we get it. You love him, you want him to sign your Prime bottles. Shut up about it. Like, do you really think you're going to talk us into liking him? Stop it. And ultimately, it was a pointless match. Because, again, we knew he wasn't going to win the title, and now we knew his title wasn't going to go anywhere. So, it's Logan Paul. I said this before. As long as he's on there, his matches, a 1. Yeah. So, King and Queen of the Ring, overall, it was good. It had a couple of really good matches. Like I said, Gunther and Randy Orton, match of the night. It was so freaking good. The triple threat was good. The opening match was pretty good. The Queen of the Ring match was a letdown. But then again, it was a letdown the moment that I knew the finals were going to be Nia Jax. Because, I'm sorry, she does not work well, in my opinion, with anybody. Like, you get some of those big wrestlers that work great with the smaller wrestlers. But she's not one of them. I've never seen anything impressive from her. The main event was a letdown the moment they announced it, except for, like I said, when they first announced it, I was like, well, at least they're going to take the title off of Logan Paul. And then they swerved us on that. We're going to have to deal with him being the champion until at least SummerSlam. Because I doubt he's going to defend it between now and SummerSlam. Please take it off of him at SummerSlam. But I was also very excited when, during the press conference, it was announced that King and Queen of the Ring was going to guarantee a title shot at SummerSlam. I remember being a kid and honestly thinking that that's just how it was. Because I remember Owen Hart won the King of the Ring, got a title match at that SummerSlam. Mabel won King of the Ring, got a title match at SummerSlam. But then the next King of the Ring, he doesn't get a title match. I was like, what gives? And that's when I realized it never guaranteed him a shot. Well, I never agreed with that. And even for years when King of the Ring was just sporadically held and not even on a pay-per-view anymore, just King of the Ring during like Raw and SmackDowns, I was saying they should bring it back as a pay-per-view, and kind of like with Royal Rumble, where that guarantees him a shot at a big show, this guarantees him a shot at another big show, the second biggest show of the year. Well, finally, WWE listened. And don't take that literally, I'm not suggesting that WWE actually watches my stuff, but I really gotta applaud them. Finally, you did that. It's a great idea. You got a big, huge battle royal to decide the championship match at WrestleMania. Why not a tournament to decide the match at SummerSlam? Great. As far as the winners go, I wasn't happy with Nia Jax winning. Number one, I've already seen her and Bayley fight, and it's not impressive. So whatever. I would have loved to have seen Liv Morgan and Lyra Valkyria. But who knows, maybe that'll still happen. As far as the King of the Ring, again, I was going to be happy with whoever won that one. I would love to see Gunther go after the World Heavyweight Championship, and I would also love to see him win the World Heavyweight Championship. Because I feel like he did great for the Intercontinental title. I would love to see what he could do for the World Heavyweight title. But then on the flip side, if Randy Orton would have won, I've been happy about that too, because I know that this rivalry is coming. It writes itself. Cody Rhodes, former protege of Randy Orton, is now the biggest thing in WWE, possibly the biggest thing in wrestling. Of course, these two are going to clash. And what better place in the immediate future than SummerSlam? Either way, we'll see how SummerSlam goes, but as far as King of the Queen of the Ring, for the first time ever, it had only 5 matches and got all 5 of my ratings. There was a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. The main event, I can't get into it because I dislike Logan Paul that much. The Queen of the Ring, eh. The opening was good. And then the IC and the Men's King of the Ring, really good matches. So as an overall thing, I really don't feel like I can give it a 5 or 4. But I will say, King and Queen of the Ring, solid 3 out of 5. Yeah! So there you all have it. That's my review of King and Queen of the Ring. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Make sure you click on that little bell so you get notifications for when I post new videos. And leave a comment that can be responded to in my next comment corner. Tell me what you thought of King and Queen of the Ring. Tell me if you believe that I should have done the entire review in this stupid accent. Love you guys.